Hello, everyone, and welcome to Garden Gossip, the Home and Garden Show, with your hosts, Lisa and Nancy, editors of BigBlendMagazine.com.
Well, today's show starts in Austin, Texas, with David and Shelley Neff. They're the founders of Weird Homes Tour. I mean, I love this. You can go and tour all these homes, and they're weird, and they're cool and funky. And they also, a percentage of the proceeds from this go to nonprofits that help people get affordable housing. It's very cool. And they're joining us to talk about their brand new book. It's called Weird Homes, The People and Places That Keep Austin Strangely Wonderful. And it's a wonderful, cool, it's a badass book. I love it.
I really think it should be Halloween. Like a trick-or-treat tour would be
I know. Some of those houses could have that in there.
So much fun.
I mean, it's just like the creativity.
You know, the people who own these houses are different, and they would get into it and do different things. It'd be cool.
They're not doing tract housing, like
little boxes.
I want to find out about how homeowner associations feel about these homes.
I don't like homeowners.
I know, but I love to see these homes and what they've done with this book, because it kind of bucks that system of we're all becoming like we're living in little boxes on the hillside.
We should all paint our walls ecru or off-white.
I know. No, we shouldn't.
I know.
So it's cool company, cool people. We're excited to have them on the show. And after we chat with them, we're going to head out to California's beautiful Sequoia country, and you'll hear my conversation with Joy Collier. She's an amazing California landscape artist, and she's known for painting the giant sequoia trees, the Central Valley and desert regions, as well as abstract nature work. So she's awesome. She's a really cool lady, and she's talk about donating too. A percentage of her proceeds from her art go into funding the organizations that protect and preserve, like the Sequoia National Forest and the Park Service and things like that too. So she's very cool.
We need that.
Yeah, very, very cool, and we do. Don't even start me. Also, after that, we're going to Santa Barbara, California. And I had a conversation with musician and author Perry Grip, and he talks about his new book out. It's a National Geographic's Kids Picture book, and it's called Some Bunny Loves Me, and it's all about, your furry friends and how to take care of them, and it's very cute. He's a YouTube sensation, but before that he was in a punk band, so he's cool.
Cool.
I know. It's a great conversation, and the book is very
punk
cool.
to bunnies?
Yeah.
Well, alrighty then.
It's a cool book. I love it, and he's got YouTube videos with it, and, he's just, kids got addicted to his music, and it's very positive and very cool. Yeah, and he's got a little bunny, too, so,
Bunnies rule.
Bunnies are cool, except for I don't want to talk about what our bunnies did when we lived in South Africa. Remember, they, attacked each other.
Yeah, well, sometimes.
I just remember that's how I learned what intestines look like.
That was a male thing.
That's really, really pleasant. So happy hump day, everybody. It's the last day of February 2018. I don't know how we got here, but we're here. And it is National Sleeping Day, so wake the hell up.
And go to sleep in a weird home.
Yeah, that's right. You're listening to Big Blend Radio's Garden Gossip Home and Garden Show. We're streaming live from Tucson, Arizona. We've got snow on our mountains, and it's cool.
I know.
Literally cool.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
You look out, you're like, oh.
I know. We've got snow in the desert.
You never get that.
There's nothing more magical than that. Anyway, we're your hosts, Nancy Reed and Lisa Smith, the crazy mother-daughter travel team and publishers of 2 digital interactive magazines. We've got Big Blend Radio and TV magazine. It's our variety magazine, and the new issue is out right now. So check it out at blendradioandtv.com. The spring issue published today. Go get it. It's cool. It's got a beautiful ranunculus on the front cover from the flower field. Ranunculus.
Yes.
You could say that. I'm going to watch how I say that.
Flower.
Okay, it's beautiful.
If you want to be plural, you get to do ranunculi.
Yeah, but it was photographed at the flower fields in Carlsbad, California, up on the coastline near Encinitas, San Diego area. And tomorrow it starts. The flower fields will be in bloom. It is one of the world's largest display of flowers, and it's in bloom from March 1st all the way through the 13th of May this year, and it's acres and acres of
astounding.
ranunculus. It is absolutely incredible. So check out theflowerfields.com. Anyway, the other magazine, Parks and Travel magazine, go to nationalparktraveling.com, and our spring issue is out, and it's got a nice, cool hippo from Zimbabwe on the front cover.
I know, and he sings.
Yes, he does. All right, are you ready to go to Austin?
Yeah.
I know. I'm so excited. I want to move to Austin after reading this book.
Go.
I know. Stay tuned, everybody. We're going to talk about weird homes. I think that totally belongs on our show. We have some super cool, weird home gossip coming on the show. It's all the way from Austin on today's Big Blend Radio Garden Gossip Show. We have David and Shelley Neff. They're the founders of the Weird Homes Tour joining us. They're the recent finalists for the We Work Creator Awards. We like that. And they're joining us to talk about not only their tours, but their awesome new book. It's called Weird Homes, The People and Places That Keep Austin Strangely Wonderful. I would like to see one of these books for every city and town across America and around the world, quite frankly. I see this as like a whole new series. And,
I can name some places.
I know.
Like 29 Palms.
Yes, yes.
Oh.
Bev Doodle's house with all the feathers on the outside. Yeah, that were carved in on the walls. Very cool stuff. It is a beautiful coffee table book, but honestly, as soon as I got it in my hands, I sat down with a glass of wine, and then I had another one, and then it was 3 a.m, and it's I read the entire thing, and I tripped out because it's creative, it's so colorful and cool, and not only does it show everyone's creativity in the city, I mean, it's amazing, the stories, and it's the stories of the people, like, hey, why did they decide to not do the homeowner association, little manicured lawns? They said, screw that, and I love it. So check it out. Go to their website, weirdhomestour.com, and also Weird Homes, their book, is available on Amazon, and it's published through Skyhorse Publishing as well, so go check it out. But let's welcome David. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Well, we're happy. We're excited because you and Shelley are on the show. Shelley, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having us.
We're excited about this. We love anything that's weird, and I think I got excited just the title, Weird Homes. I was like, we have to have them on the show just because they're covering weird homes. And Nancy and I have this thing about, like, at the end of the day, we can't just be little boxes on the hillside and manicured lawns, and everybody has the same color house, and we're not allowed to do this and not allowed to do that. So I think that this book represents this
character.
Before they all go away, that I felt like reading this and looking at the homes and hearing everyone's story or reading everyone's stories, an urgency about this. Shelley, do you think there is like an urgency of keeping our places like how we want to, creatively?
Yeah. I mean, and that's one of the main reasons we did this book is because we saw that some of these homes were going away, and we have, 19 Austin homes featured in this book, and 3 of them are already gone. So we definitely wanted to create something that preserved these homes, in a timeless manner. And that was just, and David actually came up with the idea for the book, and I thought this is brilliant because this gives those homes a place and a place to live forever.
I know the Flamingo Ranch because you even talked about that in the book, and I love the Flamingo Ranch. I was like, this is one of the coolest, and we lived in Florida for a while, and there's flamingos there, and then all of a sudden you're like, this is important. And I was like, damn it, now I have to trade my wine in for tequila. I'm pissed.
There's that man in Tuolumne who has his whole lawn is pink flamingos, remember?
Yeah, and then we weren't allowed to photograph it.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
Come
on. But David, tell us a little bit about this because it's interesting that you started this with we're doing tours, and a percentage of the tours you're giving to nonprofits that help people get affordable housing. And affordable housing is becoming a huge issue across America. I know we've done a lot of issues just on homeless issues. I remember doing a show on homelessness in America, and the average age at that time, we were talking about maybe 4 or 5 years ago, was 9 years old. And so I love that this is all like this giving back, keeping creativity alive, and getting people out and thinking about, not just themselves, but also thinking about themselves, that they can be themselves instead of the little blocks on the hillside. So, David, where did all of this start?
Yeah, I'll let Shelley tell you the origin story, since she's kind of our founder, and it's a good story. But you know, what we've done is just what you said. When we started this business, we were really just interested in creating something that gives back. Is it a B Corp? Is it a nonprofit? Is it an LLC? That's all really irrelevant nowadays. And instead, how do you build a good company that hires really smart people and does good things with the world, right? And not just, hey, we recycle in our cafeteria, but how do we take a percentage of the money we earn and invest it back in the local affordable housing scene? Just like you said, there's this huge problem with affordable housing all across America, and especially in the cities that we're in, it's very acute. And, you know, we don't consider it a donation. We consider it an investment. We know that when we put that $5, you know, in, that there's $15 that comes out that's helping people find homes where they need to find homes. And if we can build a really successful business over time, not only exposing people to amazing art, showing them, to your point earlier, that all their walls don't have to have shiplap and farm sinks. They can put purple on the wall. They can hang that crazy piece of art. And we can give back and support affordable housing, then, you know, that's an awesome business. And we can't wait to just grow that and grow that.
I love that you say you're investing and it's not just a donation where, here, I did this, I write a check, and there it is. Because I think there's something about just doing that where it's like, okay, I did my good deed and now I can turn a blind eye kind of thing. And the investment in is that you're part of that community, because it's going to come back to you. I mean, just if you think of it, you know, big picture in one community. I know Austin is big and spread out. You know, you've got to look at Shelley with you at Urban Betty, your salon. Eventually, someone's going to come back into your salon and give you your money back in some way. You know, it's going to circle
Correct.
back.
Yes, so true. Yes, so true.
Yeah.
It really is true. If you look big picture, if more than half the people in the states are poor, then the rich people are going to get poorer. They're not going to get richer anymore. They're going to get poorer because who's going to buy the product? You know, and so we're on a spiral right now where things are getting to they're coming to a head where I think the richer side's going, hey, wait a minute, how come profits are dropping? Because we've created a huge sector of the population who can't afford housing. And that means they can't afford very much other than food, not even shelter. Think about it, you know, the things that you need in life. So it is worthwhile to lend a helping hand and house people and get them back so they can do things, so they can be like, they can spend money that the rich people want. I mean, that's a crude way of saying it, but it's true. I'm trying to get it down to, like, hello.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Where did it start, Shelley?
Well, David and I were walking around our old neighborhood in Austin, and we saw this house that looked like the Alamo. And I was like, what in the world is this? I want to see what the inside of this looks like so bad. And I told him, you know, we should go home and search on the internet and see if there's anything out there, like a weird home tour for Austin. We, you know, love home tours. We've been on the chicken coop tour of Austin. I mean, Austin has all these crazy tours, modern home tour, you know, you name it. And so the idea bloomed from pure nosiness, just me wanting to be voyeuristic and see how people live that have these homes. And David went back home, researched and looked, and he's like, I can't find anything. Can you believe it? And I was like, no, I can't believe it. And he came back about a week later and was like, I think we should do it. And I said, wait, you know we both have full-time other jobs, right? He was like, I don't care. I think it's a great idea. So we actually, and it's crazy, we launched it the same year we bought our first home and got married. So I tell people, if we can make it through all of this, we're going to make it through.
Is your home weird?
Yeah.
That's a great question. It's I tell people I think it's slowly becoming weird. Every year we're majorly into Halloween. When you referenced that earlier, I was dying. So we have half of our garage is full of like Halloween treasures, and we every year when we put our decorations back, I feel like I leave about 10% of them still out.
Cool.
So awesome. I tell people in about 10 to 20 years, we'll probably be headlining on this floor.
I love that because, like, especially if you have anything to do with cobwebs, you can put it out and say, it's my Halloween decorations, but it could be real. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, for sure.
Love it.
That's the thing. Going through the book, half of these houses, I want to say, like, who cleans them? I mean, there's
the dust factor.
So many of these people have, like, collections of things from traveling, or, like, they're obsessed with, twin heads and, I don't know, like skeletons and all kinds of, I mean, there's some crazy stuff in there. But, like, who cleans it all?
It's dusty.
I asked one of our homeowners one time, and she said, I just do it. It's a labor of love. It's worth it to me. It's not a big deal. I just get in my Zen mode and I dust all my stuff. And I was like, wow, that truly is a labor of love. Yeah.
So, okay, how do you approach the homeowners? Because it's so interesting, your story about how this started. Because, okay, so a little tiny backstory of Nancy and I, we traveled the country for 3 years going to national parks. Our thing is to go to national parks, not just the 60 that we now have. We have 417 national park units within our country. And you guys are on a trail that we're going to actually be passing through this year at the El Camino. I can't even say it. It's El Camino de Teos Trail. Mm-hmm. It goes from Mexico up through San Antonio, through Austin to Natchitoches, Louisiana. But anyway, we went on the road for 3 years. We said, that's it, screw it. We gave pretty much 98% of our home away to a nonprofit here in Tucson that helps people transition from living on the street to having an apartment. And how they get your stuff is they're getting their apartment and they get to just call dibs on it, and it helps them move forward. And they came, and the people getting the homes actually come to your house and take your stuff. Which
it's very emotional.
It's an incredibly emotional thing.
It was like,
and
whoa.
It was emotional anyway, because it was emotional going, you're just giving everything away. We had like a tiny storage unit.
But then
just
you
for
start running around the house looking for something else to give.
I know, and it was like you knew that this had this journey going on. So we went on the road. We came back home because, quite frankly, we need decent internet and things that you think you're going to be okay on, you're not. But anyway, we came back now. We live very, very tiny house style, and it's very interesting because we were in Yuma, Arizona. We were stationed there for quite a bit as like a head base at the time, and this historic downtown that they had where all these people were moving in, and I'm talking a mixed community of age group, of race, of everything. And it was so cool to see Yuma change this way. And this one area, people were refurbishing these really, really old homes. And Nancy and I started walking the neighborhood every morning, and there in the window was the big boy, Bob's big boy. And we're like, there's this big boy in the window. And I kept wanting to take a photo, but I didn't want to put it up on Instagram like, hey, there's a big boy in the window, And then the one time we were walking through, the owner walked by and said hi. And we're like, dude, why didn't we say, like, we want to see your big boy? No, that sounds bad.
This is like the old drive-in food place, Bob's Big Boy, hamburgers kind of thing, and this thing
took the whole window.
There's no way they got it through the door.
Mm-mm.
And when you walk past their house, you look in the living room window,
and that's a big boy.
The whole room, and you can see part of his face and down to his shoes, but you can't see the whole thing because it's that big and it's inside the house. So we're like, we just want to like knock on the door and say, can we come in and see your big boy?
I know. And we never did. We're still pissed at ourselves to this day. So, like, who did the first phone call to someone's home and says, we want to see your weird home, and it's weird?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that, Shelley, the other day, and you know, I remember us going to James Talbot's house, Casa Neverlandia, which graces the cover of the coffee table book.
Oh,
and
I love it.
Just knocking on it, nobody answered, and you know, taking a note that we had kind of prepared and putting it through a mail slot, and then thinking, wow, I should go home and just print a bunch of these and ask people give us addresses, we'll mail them letters. And, you know, these people are not millennials, but they sure acted like millennials. Nobody returned my letter. Nobody's even checking their mail probably, right? They don't even remember they have a mailbox in front of their house. And so it just took, you know, I majored in journalism when I was in college, so I've always had that kind of go up and talk to people quality. And it just took so much knocking on doors. And then finally I was on a trip with my real job, and I remember finally getting a phone number and getting James on the phone and sitting there in a hotel room in Dallas 5 years ago and talking to James on the phone for an hour about his background, his travels all over the world, how he used to design children's playscapes, and he was like a playground designer, and how he works like that kind of innocence and craziness of playing outside when you're at recess into his house and into his art, and just kind of really having to sell him on this idea of, yes, I want to open up your house and have strangers come in it and look at it. And he had been on HGTV. He had been on like a house flipping show and an art show, and so he had plenty of experience. And just getting him to say yes, and just kind of, you know, it's like if you ever sold something to anyone, and the first time you actually get a yes, you're kind of floored by it. But I don't know if he was the first person that we walked up and knocked on the door, but he was the first person that we got, that then other people were like, oh, you got a hold of James Talbot at Casa Neverlandia? Okay, I'll return your phone call now. I'll return your email.
There's like a network.
It is like that.
Yeah,
you got the network. You tapped it.
The big boy guy knows the Halloween house, who knows the house that has all the taxidermy, that knows the people that own the oddity shop. And they all talk. They all are in the same art shows. They know the people in Portland, who know the people in New Orleans, who know the people in New York.
Wow, yeah.
And it's just this amazing detective show of Shelley, myself, Kevin, who's our managing director, going around and like finding these people and getting tips from the general public. And then once you get in, it's who do they know, who knows, who knows. It's definitely kind of 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
It's
I love it.
It's so badass, and it's so. But the reality is, it's the story behind the people. I mean, behind the house. It's the people. It's like, where did you get this stuff? Why did you put this mosaic on your wall? There's a lady who does the certified wildlife habitat, and I want to give her a shout out because we cover that on our show almost every month on certified wildlife habitats. I'm like, yay, because it's so cool.
Awesome.
You know, to me, there's these things that people can take away and go, you know, the one lady you have in there that basically, like I'm looking at my card now going, now if we did the tour in this RAV4, we call her Mulva. Yes, it's from Seinfeld. Her full name is Mulva Cleopatra Doppelganger.
That's
good. But anyway.
Sometimes we can't find her.
I know. But if I like decked her out like the one lady who did all these, you know, attached everything to the car, like I'm like, that would be a cool statement. Who cares about putting a skin on my pillow? It's Big Blend Radio. Who cares? Let's do like weird stuff. But she went from her house and then got weird in her apartment. And I think that is an interesting thing because I have a friend who, she lived in an apartment and she's like, I don't care. I'm painting the walls. I'll just take it all down when I'm done and know that I'm financially going to have to clean this. But you walked in her apartment. I'm like, you can't do this in an apartment. She's, oh, hell yes. Look, I don't care. Look what I've done. And she did weird glow lights on her ceiling. She had different wall colors. Remember Mary in San Diego?
Yes.
Yeah. And she got away with it everywhere she went. And that lady in your book did that. And I was like, that's inspiration for apartment owners across the country, but not necessarily the management.
Well, management hates that, but, you know, too bad. This thing about everybody should be the same, and, you know, track tone when you walk through neighborhoods, and it's so boring and annoying. You know, and I mean, That's why people travel to different countries and want to see something new and different. And I don't understand why in this country we have this, oh, we must all look like this. Yeah, I don't get it.
So true.
Yeah, and it's boring.
Have you become friends with the homeowners?
Oh yes, we've become very close personal friends with them because you really have got to let them trust you. So you've got to go in and talk to them. And one of our, homeowners is an intuitive, and I've had a session with her, and David and I've had a session with her, and she invited me to come have tea with her. Like, we love her. My dad we have people that come and help us with the tour. My dad was like her bathroom tour guide, and he fell in love with her, and like she knows my family now.
You could be a bathroom tour
whole
guide.
Thing.
Listen, everybody, there's opportunities to volunteer. Go to their website, weirdhometour.com.
Yes.
You too
could be in the bathroom. Tour guide.
You can do that. Right. Does anybody have a bar?
Light show in her bathroom.
I vote for that. I'll be the bar guide.
I want to be the guide with the guy who has the house. And they were architects, right? Wasn't it, like they were really into this. The house with the fireplace with the big mouth.
Oh,
I love that. I want that.
Yeah, the Green Man fireplace, which is kind of inspired by these Nordic legends and a lot of folklore and folk tales. And he's a very famous architect in Austin and around Texas. And that house just looks so normal on the outside, and then it's so wild on the inside. Secret passageways. There's a belfry, and they put a plastic bat so they could say there's a bat in the belfry, and just everything you can imagine. And it is like 5 lead star, powered totally by solar. Just such an incredible earth-friendly building. And then inside, you're just like, whoa, what is going on in here? It's like a Renaissance festival / traveling back in time.
I love it because if you want to tell someone to go to hell, like, we're talking about
show you the fireplace.
You know how we always, like on soap operas, they have someone throw the glass in the fire?
Yeah.
Well, which is how I set my carpet on fire in my trash can. I did as a kid years ago. Like, people would throw things, set something on fire, and then mine was plastic and it melted to the carpet. And that was I wasn't popular as a child, but doing that. But if you at that big, here's the big mouth, and I mean, he's like, roar, and you just want to say, go to hell, and you could throw a glass and, like, curse someone's name. Like, you could totally do your own spell. Sorry, I'm, like, crazy weird. But that's the thing. Your book gets us all, like, I think it makes people go into their subconscious a little bit going through it. Do you see that on the tours when people tour and see the homes? Does it kind of... Because some of this stuff is like, there's some freaky stuff in there that would scare people. But do you see people kind of like, I'm really into this? Like, there's like this other layer that they haven't tapped into yet.
Yeah, they definitely their desire gets sparked to change things in their home. I mean, mine does when I see it. There's some elements in my own home that I saw from when we just go to scout these homes, and I'm like, babe, I'm going to go home and I'm going to build all these bookshelves in our house, just like one of our ladies, Valerie, has. And I mean, it is funny, and you start to, because you're around these homeowners, and you pick up different things. And it's, I think every single person that comes on this tour could pick up something from, they're weird, but there are certain elements in there that you could add to your home that would look amazing, and you wouldn't necessarily have a weird home. So.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to say, the first home that I purchased, I painted the bedroom in all clouds on the ceiling and all the walls.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you woke up, you were outside, but you weren't really outside, but you looked like you were outside. And the dare was to paint the floor also.
So that's
in clouds. And I couldn't make myself do it because it was hardwood floors. And then I always regretted it because then it would be so cool. You'd be just floating always.
Well, I think, I think the weird homes, like, it's kind of like going on the Vegas Strip in some weird way. Like, it is. I mean, come on, Liberace had a weird home. Like, he did. Seriously.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, he did. Like, that would be like that. He's got books on it. But I was going to say, in Mexico, we lived in Mexico for a little while, and we rented this house on the beach, And it was a crazy time because we were there to take care of my grandparents, and it was just a crazy, one of those weird times in your life that everything stops. You need to you have to move your life right now to Mexico. And there was this house, and it was called the House of the Dead Seal. So most people won't move into a house like that.
But that was named after the Doors.
The Doors, and there's a song in the Doors. Go on the live album, the double one, and there's it's in there. And so this was the weirdest house. You could walk downstairs, and it was like you're at the under the sea. Yeah. So the living room, and we took this place. None of us could. We had too many of us, but we took it because the living room was the ocean. So weird. So we all decided to live in that because we're all artists and stuff, you know. So we were weird, and it was like this weird thing. And there were skeletons hanging on the you know, on the fence outside, and you know, then you go in, and then she had the lady who owned it at one point left her library, and there was her journal, and I would sit there and get my wine out at night and read her journal, and there was all this Jim Morrison stuff, and I'm like, no way. And then she talked about meeting him in Ensenada where we were.
But she might have.
And I don't know if it's true or not. It was crazy cool.
Every room in that house was painted a different color,
and
it wasn't like a soft pink. It was like hot pink, royal blue, royal purple. Everything was like straight out of the paint can with no mixing, tonal anything. And we've lived in two houses like that, one in Pietermaritzburg in South Africa and one in Mexico, where when you don't come home drunk, because as you go from room to room, it's a physical shock.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah. Y'all would have totally been on our tour.
This is so. I can't tell you how excited we are about this because it's like you go through. I want to go on a tour. I really wish I was in Austin. Do you see? I know on your website and WeirdHomeTours.com. Everyone go there. Do you see? You talk about Austin. You talk about Portland. New Orleans, Houston. Are you going to do actual physical tours, and are more books coming out? Because I'm ready for the next one, but I also want to do a tour.
Great question. So, yes, you know, we're not one to do virtual VR tours just yet. I'm sure we'll figure that out down the line. We actually have filmed one of our houses in virtual reality, and that house is now gone, unfortunately. So you can kind of still go and put a little headset on.
But at least it's still there. The heart is there. Yeah. So
That's right. And but yes, all physical locations. So this year we'll be in Austin, Houston, New Orleans, Detroit, and Portland. And I think, you know, it took us a while to write this book, to find a publisher. You can imagine coffee table books are not the cheapest thing to put out, and it's kind of its own art form. And we love Skyhorse. They're out of New York. They're one of the first people we pitched, and we talked to a couple of different publishers, and they were the best ones out there that we loved, and we love how the book is done and how it came out. And so absolutely, we'd love to do a book in each of our cities. I think that depends on how many we sell. So hopefully we're getting the word out and getting people to go out and say, yes, this is cool. Exactly. Please visit Amazon or your local bookstore and pick it up, and then we'll get to write more and more of them.
One thing too,
you go get the book, and then you go to the paint store
and go crazy, and
go home and get wild.
Go to every flea market and go crazy. But I think also the inspiration is really cool because there's a lot of people with their collections, but some of the stories in there that I truly, Nancy and I both are, you know, we're into. What can we do environmentally? What can we do solution-wise? And I think the dumpster project one was,
that's amazing.
That was probably one of the most important things. Then when there was a lady who also built her earth house, you know.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
So these things were like teaching us, like, hey, this is how we can look to the future, especially with affordable. It went with your affordable housing, your whole plan of what you're doing. So the dumpster project was cool because your professor got in your book twice.
He did. He snuck in there.
Tell everybody
it was interesting.
This. Yeah.
Well, it's cool to see how it evolved because I kind of noticed that. I'm like, I'm sure if he had not, you know, done this experiment of living in a dumpster for a year on his college campus to teach people about, sustainable living and small homes, it would have never evolved and grown into this casita idea of smaller homes, stackable, that people can buy that are affordable. And so it was so cool to just kind of notice that just the other day, I just kind of had that epiphany, like, oh my gosh, I'm sure some people it probably just dawned on them right away, but I was like, oh my gosh, had he not done this dumpster experiment of living in it, he would have never grown into developing this whole line of sustainable homes for people. So we had to feature both, and it was really cool. I mean, and how cool is he to be your professor, and people can actually go, this dumpster is still on the college campus, and they can rent it out and sleep in it for a few nights to get that experience. And you can send a few people in there. We all crawled in there. There was like 4 of us. It was a little tight, but, it was fun.
Well, he also said in that, where he ended up, he said one of the things he took away from that was that you're not so much living in your house, you're living on the outside. So he got to know his community more, which I thought was so cool.
Exactly. Yeah, he wasn't laying in his lazy boy watching Netflix anymore, because you don't have that luxury in that small of a home. So you actually get outside and do more things and know more people. And, I mean, that's definitely, I think, a healthier attitude to have.
It's interesting to us because we lived in Africa for a while, and we lived with 2 different tribes in Kenya, and we lived in South Africa. And we are American, both of us born in California, but when we left this country and went to a whole different style of thinking and living, there's an adjustment period. We will admit that. But we found that you did live more outdoors and you were more social, not on the internet, because I'm talking about a time when we didn't even have the internet. And you talked to people, you got to know people. Didn't mean you liked everybody, but everybody got along, and you were more outside. The indoors really was more for sleeping. And you were living more outdoors than indoors, and the whole thing was more social. Then when we came back to this country, the culture shock, everybody's like, oh, you're going to go to Africa, culture shock. The culture shock was worse coming from Africa to the States than it was from going from the States to Africa, just because of the housing and the way people lived.
The lack of community, village.
I mean, even now with social media, you're still indoors on a computer. You're not talking to people face to face.
Right.
It's true.
Right. It's that connection. Yeah. That's so important.
I think.
And
go ahead.
I think that's the beauty, though, of our tour, and maybe even versus what Shelley and I do for our other jobs or other pursuits that we're just interested in. Is there something about being able to go on the tour yourself and not tell people who you are and just kind of watch people's faces, right? Like, there's this very Alice through the looking glass moment that happens, and you see this in people's faces when they walk in, and they see the fire pole and the statues and the slides and everything else that's going on in the background. Has just been crazy to see, and they're just so excited by it. And we kind of love that and do call that the Alice in the Looking Glass moment.
I think it's so important, and I love it because I think it really promotes individuality and being who you are. And so much we get into this thing of, we need to do what society always says. And yet,
the homeowners association thing.
I think every community has a weird society, and it's not necessarily weird. It's about being who you are and expressing instead of, being the bottled in and, we're supposed to do it this way. I think it's beautiful to me. Whether or not you like the weirdness or can connect to it, it doesn't matter. It's about that individualism of, this is how I want to live. If you don't like it, don't
live in my house.
Don't live here. Yeah. So how do the homeowners feel about the tours? Do they all stay there, or do they talk to people, or do they not want to? Like, how does that work for them?
Yeah, when we sign on these homes, we definitely let them know that part of the tour is being there with your home and answering questions. And because that idea stemmed from, we went on a modern homes tour, and sometimes by the end of those tours they're fun, but you can't remember, all the houses just lump as one in your brain. And one of the homes, because usually the homeowners, they send them away, so one of the homes that year we went, the homeowner was actually there and was answering all these questions, and I was like, oh my God, I remember this home, because all the design elements, he told us where they came from and how he was so inspired by them. And I said, David, we need to have the homeowners there. This is their art, and they are a part of this home. And so it makes people's days to be able to talk to them and ask them. And it is tiring for the homeowners, but they get so much love from all the people coming through the tour, and they can't express enough gratitude at the end of the day, because they're not used to having so many people appreciate their home. And so it's a win-win.
I think that's really cool, because they also get to say, this is why I do it. And I think that's a neat thing, having that connection with people and getting them to understand, like, hey, we're being who we are. We have some kind of, interesting thing. And I think what's also interesting is the amount of people that have traveled. So, it seems like Austin, from the book, it seems like Austin is like a traveling creative community. Would you say that? I mean, the only time I've been to Austin is driving
through in the rain.
On a 4th of July, crazy at night from Louisiana. I did the whole drive. I drove from middle of Louisiana to southern Arizona at one time, which was crazy. But it happened. And you guys had fireworks going, and I kept looking at the fireworks. I was like, don't pull over. But you had that beautiful, your Capitol building and everything. But it seems like such a creative community, with the music, obviously, and everything. But how is it now? What is the balance like when you look at the weird homes versus, regular homes?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we're the live music capital of the world, and I know you're going to have some music on later, so we're excited about that. And we've always prided ourselves that, and Austin's this college town that really came alive in the 50s and the 60s and just had a ton of the counterculture move here. And that counterculture of the 60s and 70s, of course, were artists and free spirits and architects and people who just thought differently than the rest of us do, which we loved. And that grew and grew and grew. And then that turned into the 80s of Keep Austin Weird. And so we have that kind of live music capital of the world fame, the Keep Austin Weird fame. And, it's funny because I think as a city, we're wrestling with that. We're also we're the number 2 fastest growing city in the United States. So we do get out and travel and go places, but more than often people move here. And so houses pricing go up. Jobs are harder to find. Our traffic is horrible. We have giant, very corporate, entities being created here and founded here, and tech, just tons of technology. And that goes directly against Keep Austin Weird. A lot of times those folks don't want to see that funky art car parked next to their Lamborghini, right?
Oh, I do.
And hey, I do too.
Because I have one.
And
I have
so
a Lamborghini in my back pocket.
No, but I was just thinking about the
and so
city
we're just kind of
officials are like, no more weirdos.
Yeah, but you've got, your mayor likes you. Your mayor's on your side.
He does. He's on the cover. And that's just it. We're all wrestling. Are we that old, funky, interesting Austin? Are we the new Austin? And the truth is we're something that's in between both of those, because, hey, Shelley and I love technology. We're running a very technology-enabled business and, social media and Instagram and YouTube. Yeah. And our homeowners love to promote their art and want to sell their art, right? They're capitalists too. And it's interesting. We can all get along and all play in the same space.
Absolutely.
We just got to figure out the traffic around here, right?
Well, we're in the business of digital magazines.
Yeah.
And podcasts and all that. So we get that part. I mean, it's there. Use it for sure. But why? There's something about America that goes into this either or.
Yeah.
And in other countries, it's like, well, let's just see. but here seems, for whatever reason, maybe it's because our political parties are red and blue. Well, let's get some purple. Why do we have to be either or all the time?
Yeah, Shelley, can you do my hair in purple?
Cool.
Totally. We've got several shades of that ready to go.
there is that either or attitude here that's very strong,
mm-hmm.
and it's too bad. Maybe it's because we're new, because we're the new kids on the block, country-wise.
Mm.
Maybe that's what it is. People forget we're a new country compared to other cultures who have been through there. We're new, and now we're like whatever.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
It's interesting. It's interesting, and I think that the arts are so, and how we live in that creative side, I think that's what's so important about keeping that alive, which you are both doing so awesomely. And I'm so glad about your book, because that can go out and inspire everyone. If people don't get to Austin or Portland or New Orleans or Houston, which they're all fabulous cities. You gotta go. I know we can't wait to really go hang out in Austin, and I don't know. I just want to go hang out and do the music apparently, and apparently really good barbecue. There's there's, and you got rivers and water and all kind. It's cool. It's swampy out there.
They have dinosaurs with plants on their back.
Oh, that's the thing. I know. I want to go and buy toys and put things in it. It's weird.
Toy
Joy.
The succulents and the hiking boots.
Yeah, but that's what I have.
Right.
I have hiking boots that I've been using for 5 years that are going to have weird things come out of them.
They're going to have succulents planted in them.
Okay, I want to ask each of you. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was just going to say, when you guys come down, we'll go for barbecue for lunch. We'll go to Toy Joy, which is our world famous weird toy store that Paul Rubens of Pee Wee Herman fame loves. And then we'll take you to maybe one of our weird homes and get you a personal tour. How about that?
Oh, we would love that. We would love that. We would love it, because
just
Austin.
Name the time.
Well, it's happening, because we're going to Natchitoches, and we've got this thing, and then we're doing Natchez Trace up to Kentucky so we can go have bourbon. Because apparently that's the thing we get at the end. You get that bourbon at the
Love
end.
it.
But we have no problem with travel at all. But yeah, Austin is just like this thing, that you got to do. And I think Tucson is like a baby Austin in a way. And I can't say that really because I haven't done Austin, but Tucson has that, creative blend of people, and that's why we're the big blend, because it is about having the cowboy and the creative, and cowboys are creative too. So it's like that blend with I think what you have in Austin. It's cool. So I hope you can come do a weird tour here, because there's weird homes here. I know they are.
Oh, well, they got to go.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
29 Palms.
I know.
Tucson
29
sounds great. We're going to put that on the list.
Mm-hmm.
But
29
Palms in California is, the whole place is just.
You have to go to the whole Joshua Tree area, because there's people with a thing called buttercup, which is a mushroom lit up with dildos, and it rotates.
Oh, wow.
And then you have a crochet, like a house of crochet.
Museum.
I know. All I can say, that is an interesting place. They have houses made out of glass bottles and all kinds of things. It's crazy out there. You've got to go to.
What do you call it? The Integratron that twirls around and contacts aliens.
It's cool.
Go.
So I want to know.
Oh, wow.
You could babysit or house sit. I call it babysit, because these homes are treasured places with all these treasures and goods in them. And the one lady that allows kids to run rampant is awesome. I love every single person in that book of yours at the Weird Homes. Everyone, go get it. If you could house it or babysit for a weekend, and they hand you the keys and said, "This is yours for the weekend," which home would you choose? So we'll start with you, Shelley.
That's a great question. We haven't been asked that before.
Yeah, because usually we get asked, what's your favorite home? And mine is Casa Neverlandia. However, it has no AC, it has no central air, so I probably wouldn't want weekend keys to it. Sorry, James. Probably the Johnson Chronister Manor, which is the house that looks like the castle, the one we were talking about earlier with the big mouth for the fire, that the fireplace is a big mouth on this, man, and I would love to have the keys to that, to just explore all the little rooms and look at every single book they have. It's just a beautiful, beautiful place, and it has such a good energy, and it feels so open that to me it's weird, but it's just, I don't know, there's a great energy to it. So that would be my pick.
Okay, and would you go and throw the glass in there with like a little sherry and go to hell?
Oh yes, I would love to do that.
I know, with a British accent. Go to hell, you bloody bastard, and throw it in
then
there.
my luck, I would end up burning their house down. So.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Yeah, you got to be careful what you put in the glass. Can't blow it up. Can't blow it up. So, David, what about you?
So I'm going to go with two, and great question. I think I would want to go stay in the dumpster for the weekend. I think that would be just fun. It's a little curled up, little nestled space, like a dog in a crate or something.
You want to go lay in the fetal position somewhere? Is that what you're telling me?
And then walk to the bars on the east side and go visit some friends that live over there. It'd be a cool little crash pad. And then there's a house that we're just adding this year for VIP. And so it's not in the book, but you guys and everybody listening can Google it. It's called the Bloom House, BLOOMHOUSE, the Bloom House, Austin, Texas. And it is just this fantastically groovy late 70s mushroom house that looks like it grew up out of the forest floor in the middle of West Austin, up in kind of our hills and our forest area. And the folks building it were just these architects who are like, we're done with this modern square look. What is the opposite of Soviet industrial buildings and gray and dark colors? We are going to build a house where there are no straight lines. Everything is a circle or a mushroom or a twist. And that's on our house. That's on our VIP tour for this year for the Austin tour. But yeah, folks listening can just Google Bloom House, Austin, Texas, and you'll see photos of it everywhere.
I love that. No square line, like straight lines.
We learned that in Africa, all the homes were round, the rondables, because the square corners hide evil spirits. So if your house is round,
and
you
snakes.
Don't have any.
That's cool.
And snakes.
See how that works?
Snakes.
Yeah.
Snakes. And snakes again. Black mamba. Open the laundry house
corners
area.
Where things hide.
I remember as a kid, and I opened up the door, and there's a black mamba right up in the corner, of the door frame thing. Just all like,
whoa.
But like, no.
If you don't have corners, you don't have things that can hide.
Yeah.
And so if I was going to build a house, I would do it round, circular.
I love that. I love the mushroom
love
side too. That's kind of like Norwegian, like almost. Yeah,
or
I love
a yurt.
That. Oh, we like yurt.
Oh, I like it.
I'm into that. I'm into that. And like the earth home that you have in there too. It's like
that's exactly what I was thinking of when you said that. That would be the perfect one for you.
I would live in that. I would go beyond house sitting. I would live in it very easily, and I'd be like,
and I would paint all the walls.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I'd grow mushrooms.
Love it.
I know. I just had to bring that up. Okay, so we kept talking about your tour. So April 21st is your 5th annual Weird Homes Tour of Austin. Have I got the date right for that?
That is correct.
Cool. Everyone, that you can get out there, go do it. If you can't get to Austin, go get the book because it's mind-blowing. It's so cool.
And get some paint.
And if you're a collector of anything, you're going to like this book. Wouldn't you guys say that too? It's for people that collect stuff. Like American Pickers, if they went to any of these homes, they would they would get it.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. It's any kind of collector.
And any TV producer out there listening, please come talk to us. We are very much open for a Weird Homes Tour TV show on Netflix or somewhere else.
That would be
you should. They need to. They have one on Netflix on hotels, and it's like commercial.
Oh, we love
like,
that show.
Love that
Oh, come
show.
on, but you guys could be better. You could be better. You could do this better.
They would be really good on that.
Like I'm just saying. Okay, so you saw it on Netflix,
Thank
but
you.
actually, because we saw it was there, and I'm like, is that commercial? Like, no, but you're like, it's cool.
I think that'd be
do
awesome.
Do it because Netflix
yes,
said
please.
they're running out of material. So
well, good. Put that out into the universe for us, and they'll listen to this and come and find us.
That's it. So before you go, I'm going to play music, but Shelley, I have a question. So this whole Weird Home Tour thing, like all of our interviews over the years, and we have had hairstylists on the show, and we've talked about, like, there's the whole hair show thing where people go crazy with the weird hairstyles. Just like when you look at fashion runways and you go, like, really, is anyone going to wear that?
Maybe where the person had the surfboard put in her
hair.
Yeah.
So, like, when you do the weird home tours and you put that and you look at these homes, do you ever transport that to hair?
Oh, my gosh.
I don't really. It's funny. I'm always.
You could have a
I think
home.
unconsciously everywhere I go, look at things, and I think my brain probably. I look at everyone's hair, and I'm not judging it. People are always scared I'm judging their hairdos. It's so funny, but I do look at it, and probably subconsciously or unconsciously it does translate, and I think about things like that. But no, can never say it's like actually. Made my work different from looking at a weird home, but that is funny to think about.
But you're going to go get a home and build it in the shape of a beehive.
Yeah, see, there you go.
There you go.
But I want hair cutters, so when we come to Austin, I want to come hang out with you because I'm scared. I'm terrible about going to the hair salon and like can I drink champagne and like come see you and then put a color in?
And we have complimentary wine. You're all good.
Oh. God, no wonder you're so successful. That is so good. Okay, so we're going to play some special music for you from Austin, Texas. We have to put the musical ambassador of Austin, Texas on, Shelley King, because she's Shelley. See, she is the first woman appointed by the Texas legislature to represent the state as its official Texas state artist. And Shelley King is her name, and she rocks.
Cool.
And she's been on our show for years, and so we wanted to play some of her music. And I'm going to call her and tell her to go play a tour. She needs to go on a tour because she dig this. But we're going to play a song. She's got an album out called Fan Faves that just came out this year. She's got a new album coming out this spring. See, in time for the house tour. Just saying, Austin's happening. But this is called Call of My Heart, and it talks about going home and doing what your heart says. So I thought that would be a perfect match for you guys. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It was amazing.
You guys take care. Enjoy your tour. We'll see you when we get to Austin. Everyone, WeirdHomesTour.com. Go get the book again. It is out. It's through Skyhorse Publishing. Give them a shout out for doing this. You can get it on Amazon, your local bookstore. The book again is Weird Homes: The People and Places That Keep Austin Strangely Wonderful. Again, from David J. Neff and his wife Shelley Neff. Go get it. And here it is, Call of My Heart from Shelley King. Go to her website, ShelleyKing.com. That's an EY for Shelley because that's how she likes it.
That's right.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My hand and leading me back where I belong. It's been too long that I've been gone. Gotta make a new start 'cause the call of my heart is gonna be home. Just when I thought I had it together, I felt the change in the weather and it gave me the blues. I thought of all the holidays and the good times that we shared, and if I must say, it made me wanna be with you. The call of my heart calling me home, taking my hand and leading me back where I belong. It's been too long that I've been gone. Gotta make a new start 'cause the call of my heart is calling me home. Don't know what I'm supposed to do now. Should I let these feelings cut right through now? 'Cause it's part of me that wants to curl up in your arms. We could give each other one more try. We could start all over and don't ask why. We could hold each other tight until the morning comes. The call of my heart calling me home, taking my hand my heart is calling me home. I liken love to a waterfall. It'll flow sometimes and then not at all. But baby, right now it's pouring down for you. I'll be standing right by your side when planets crash and stars collide. Yeah, we're gonna be the ones who's gonna make it through. The call of my heart, calling me home. You're taking my hand and leading me back where I belong. It's been too long, I've been gone. Gotta make a new start 'cause the call of my heart is calling me home. The call of my heart, calling me home. It's taking my hand and leading me back where I belong. It's been too long that I've been gone. Gotta make a new start 'cause the call of my heart is calling me home. I gotta make a new start 'cause the call of my heart is calling me home.
Everyone, again, that was Shelley King, the musical ambassador of Austin, Texas.
Awesome.
I know, and that was off of her Fan Faves album. It was called Call of My Heart. It's an old school song she's done, and she's got a new album coming out this spring. We can't wait, so keep up with her. Go to ShellyKing.com, and that's an EY for Shelley, ShellyKing.com. God, I love the Weird Homes tour, man.
I know.
What a great
Fun.
concept. They're doing good. They're showcasing creativity. I mean, it's just the whole thing is awesome, and the book is fantastic. So, again, everyone, Weird Homes, The People and Places That Keep Austin Strangely Wonderful by David J. Neff and Shelley Neff. So check that out
I
on
love
Amazon, all those great places. All right, so we're going to go to California, Sequoia country to hear a conversation I had with Joy Collier, an amazing artist. Her art just like, it's like boom. This
She's
is a
into
Sequoia
the
tree.
trees, man.
You know, you get this just jaw-dropping moment when you go up into the sequoias and you see that rust-colored bark and the magnitude of these trees, and then the green and then the sky. I mean, it's just an amazing experience. It's one of those lifetime kind of, it's a bucket list thing. It is.
You can't believe how big they are till you're next to
And then
them.
once you leave, you're like, I want to take a bit of that home with us, and that's what she does. She paints these trees, and she has that, you know, to me, her paintings should be on like huge buildings everywhere because they're just colorful, they're vibrant, they're like.
Yeah, it would be cool if they're life size.
Yeah, that's a big ass building. Like,
no kidding. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, you could paint Trump
Those
Towers
have some
with it.
weird buildings now instead of just weird houses.
Yeah,
Instead of this gray, stop it.
Yeah.
All the skyscrapers should be painted on the outside like a forest.
I know.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Oh, I'd love that. Here it is, Joy Collier. Well, Joy Collier is a California landscape artist, and she's known for her amazing paintings of the giant sequoia trees, the Central Valley and desert regions, as well as abstract nature work. Joy is based in Porterville, which is in Tulare County, and it's a gateway community to Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks and Sequoia National Forest and the giant Sequoia National Monument. And she's joining us back on Big Blend Radio today to talk about her current work and upcoming exhibits. And you can go to her new website, joycollier.com, and you can connect to her social media there as well, Facebook and all that good stuff. But welcome back, Joy. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Lisa. How are you?
Oh, doing good. I'm glad to have you back on. My first question is, are you still painting what smiles at you?
Of course. I mean, I don't think I could paint if it didn't smile at me. I'd have to give up, right?
The giant sequoias, they obviously make you smile a bunch, the giant trees.
I do. They're so dramatic, and their color's so beautiful, and they just stand out. I mean, you know, they're big for one thing, and they have gorgeous color, and they just highlight everything around them. So I love them.
In living in the Central Valley region, like Tulare County, which is pretty amazing because you've got lakes, you've got the forest, but you've also got the foothills, and you really have the valley. And isn't spring like a beautiful time when like all the fruit and nut trees start to bloom? It's kind of an interesting time for people to visit. I know a lot of people visit the area in the summer. They always think, oh, go to Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks in the summer. But to me, spring is one of the most beautiful times in your area.
Spring is the best time. It's not so hot and dry, and soon the flowers will be coming out. So, the wildflower, there's a lot of drives that you can take where the wildflowers are blooming. There's lots of lupin and poppies and fiddleneck and all kinds of little wildflowers. And if you go up to the sequoias in the spring, you get to see the dogwoods blooming, and they only bloom up there, and they just are so dramatic against the base of the giant sequoia trees. So it's lovely. Also, there's a huge meadow. If you go to Sequoia National Park, there's a huge meadow called Round Meadow. And if you visit the Upper Visitor Center, it's a short hike down the hill, and they have built a beautiful path that goes around this gigantic meadow. And they keep people out of it now, and it has recovered dramatically because it used to get worn down from people walking in it. And now it just is lush and filled with wildflowers. And the bears love it. When they come out of hibernation, they don't really eat much meat or anything at that time. They really go for the vegetation. And so you can usually always see bears and deer and marmot and weasels, all kinds of animals. So it's fun. And there's wonderful benches. They put benches around the meadow. So it's an easy hike for people who are, impaired a little bit or aren't looking for a real mountain hiking kind of adventure, but just to come up and enjoy it with their families. So it's super. I mean, it's one of my favorite places.
It's one of our favorite hikes, too, the Big Trees Trail and around that meadow. And we've seen bear there. We've seen deer, so many little birds. I mean, it really just sit on the bench and just watch that meadow because it will come to life.
Absolutely.
I was going to ask you, Joy, do you ever go and sketch or do any kind of painting outside?
Well, I used to only paint outside. I was really raised in the plein air tradition, but as I got older, it just became really difficult to produce, and I haven't been doing it lately. I usually just go with my cameras and take a lot of photography work and then bring it back to my studio and work. But I don't know. I've had an itch lately, so you just may find me out there somewhere. The problem with it is you got to haul all your gear wherever you go, and you got to just be totally prepared because if you forget anything, then you're stuck. And I mean, it's fun, and there's nothing like painting in plein air. You just see things differently. For one thing, the light's always changing, so your paintings really are a little bit more dramatic and dimensional, especially if you stay in a place for maybe a couple of hours because the light has moved, and you see more of around things than a photograph just snaps a moment. So it can be kind of flat. So.
And you're changing the light. The light's going to change just because of the processing, of photography. I think digital photography helps. It's a little different now, but there is something magical about being outdoors and just being right in it and having to move with nature as nature changes with light and bugs and birds and everything. I was going to ask, what are you working on now? What's your current painting?
Well, I'm kind of working on a couple of things, and I seem to be focused around bears lately. I don't know. I sold my last bear painting at the Camp Nelson Mountain Festival, and the lady was so thrilled. And I'm doing a large painting of that round meadow with a family of bears in the meadow. I'm
nice.
also doing a couple of bear portraits, which I should have ready for my studio tour in April, which people can come and visit and see, but they'll also be online. So, yeah.
Yeah, because I know you put your art online too, and everyone. I mean, your colors are so vibrant, and you just capture that essence of the colors of the forest and it just and movement the way you paint, which is, to me. I want giant paintings of your art. Like it should be like the whole. You should see like the whole mural, like a whole wall. That's how it should be when I look at your art. But I mean, you have all sizes for people, though, according to what they want to do for their home.
Well, I start with big paintings mostly. I normally, especially if it's sequoias, because the drama, they're so big. It's hard to paint them small. I don't feel them small. So, a friend of mine who had a frame shop actually built me my first 6-foot canvases. She built me 2-by-6-foot canvases. It was quite a few years ago. And I'd start painting the whole tree. And actually, they've been very successful. But the beauty of it is, if you paint a big one, it always can be made smaller as a print. And digital prints are so good. They look just like the originals. In fact, a lot of people think when they buy a print, they're buying the original. I always tell them it isn't, but they don't quite believe me, I don't think, because they look identical. And that's the great thing. I mean, digital printing now is so good.
Hey, why not?
So,
I think that helps for people. I know that, a lot of people that go out to the sequoias fall in love with the sequoias, and it's a nice memory. It's like a way of capturing memory, but it also being something that's, art, and that's something special in itself. And so I think it's a great gift idea, and it's a great way to decorate your home. I mean, why not bring the forest into your living room? That's how I look at it. So I love it. I wanted to touch on, and everyone, you can go to joycollier.com, and she's also on Facebook as well. And but you were talking about this studio tour that's coming up, and it's called the South Valley Studio Tour. I know it happens every couple of years in April. This year, 2018, it's April 14th and 15th. So this is so exciting. I know Three Rivers has their first Saturday art. It's like where people drive around and go to different artist studios and restaurants and things, which is a great way to see the region. With this, it incorporates all of Tulare County, so it's Visalia, Porterville, where you are, Three Rivers, everywhere, right? Tulare, all of it.
It is. That and Three Rivers. I mean, they participate also. So all of the artists that you can see, there's actually going to be 40 artists have signed up this year. And they've changed the rules a little, so they allow artists that haven't signed up to participate also, like they can be at the Porterville Art Association, or maybe they have some locations in Visalia and Lindsay where they can also team up so that they don't have to have people come to their homes if they don't feel like they have a studio to show people. So
nice.
I think it's going to broaden the experience. People will get to see a lot more art. And I'm really quite excited about it. I think it's going to be a big success. So.
Well, I love that Tulare, because there's so many, like Exeter is like Mural City. I love how Exeter is just so colorful, telling the story of the region, and you see all the the history of agriculture and the natural beauty of the parks on the walls and the history of the peoples. And I think Tulare does it, Porterville does it. I mean, so there's this really cool
Exeter,
tie-in,
Lindsay, everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, all of this region, the small communities, all have a lot of mural art, and they're beautiful. I mean, they really are quite extraordinary. So they put a lot into it to draw attention to their little communities. So if any of you out there are looking for an adventure, April, you'll see the wildflowers, you can see the sequoias, you can see all of the art. It's a great place to come.
And there's a lot of good food. I have to say,
there's always good food.
Good food, good shopping. I mean, this is the way to get out and celebrate spring as far as I'm concerned. You got a little bit of everything, the historic downtowns now. Are you opening your studio, or are you going to be showing at the Porterville Art Association?
No, I'm going to have my own studio open, so they can come right up to my house, and I have
cool.
what used to be a detached garage as my studio, and I will have all my art on display. And they can come. It'll be fun because I can show them how I set up a painting and how I use, how I do layout work. I can show them all the different levels of the process I go through. And
nice.
It's for 2 days, so we've got, I can put a lot of stuff outside. I have 2 tents and racks, and it'll be great.
Oh, nice.
I think people would enjoy it. And they can ask me anything they want. So.
Uh-oh. You never know.
Uh-oh. Well, I didn't say that answer. No, I did. Anything about art and nature.
Well, that's the thing I want to tell people, too. I mean, you know the region very well, and as an artist, you get to really know the natural habitats as you're painting and observing. And so I know over the conversations we've had with you over the years and meeting you in person that you know the sequoias. So I think it's a really neat time. And I know your friend also, she's a docent, Nancy's taken people out, including Nancy and I. She's taken us out on the trails, like the Trail of Giants up in Sequoia National Forest. So this is just such a great time for people to learn about, the nature, and I think, to learn about art, to see what is that artist process, and you have more value for the art when you realize just how much goes into a painting, no matter what size. And it's like, Joy, everybody thinks that the smaller the painting, the easier, right? That's not really true.
Well, not necessarily. No, it isn't.
Yeah.
And it's, you just use a bigger canvas. You use a bigger brush. It's not really all that much different, really. But it depends on the complexity of the composition and how many elements you include. And sometimes things just don't work out the way you want, so it'll take a little longer. Other times it just breezes through. It just happens. So I don't know if there's a real formula. People always ask me how long it takes me to do a painting, and I can't really tell them. I mean, sometimes it only takes me a week or something, and sometimes I don't do things in an hour. I mean, I don't do anything in an hour. But, I mean, I could do a study in an hour, a small study, but I don't really work that way. Because I care so much about form, that it takes some analysis to get your eye to travel through the form in the picture, and I don't know. I'm just that's how I was trained, So and then the one thing too with your website, I know that this is your website's being completely renovated and will be up by, you get to celebrate by the time the studio tour comes around with this. But it's kind of interesting because people love their art, and especially if we want the sequoias in our house. But do designers ever work with you because of being able to do this kind of printing that is available now for people to have it on whatever kind of medium they want it for their house, whatever size of the painting? Absolutely.
Do you work with designers? Oh, nice.
Yes, and I got to tell you some of the features of my new website, which is so exciting to me. I'm hooked up with a printer, a very big printer in Texas, and they can print my prints any size you want, from a postage stamp up to, I think the width is 54 inches wide. So, they can be huge. We can do almost mural walls. And so they can choose anything, but they also can choose any medium, meaning it can be printed on canvas and it'll look like the original painting. But it can also be printed on metal or paper, so it could be matted and framed. And this particular website, you're going to be able to click on a painting you like, and they have a wall preview tool. You can choose the room to display it in, okay, and you get a choice of a bedroom, a conference room, a dining room, all these different choices. You can see the picture in the room proportioned to the size you choose, okay? So you can change the sizes to make it balanced right, and you can choose the wall colors. I mean, they give you a whole grid, and you can pick any wall color. And they're using all the latest designer wall colors. So like
wow.
and those other decorator sites, this totally competes with that. So you can it gives you a better understanding of what you're getting and what the proportions are. And I don't know. I'm really excited, as you probably can tell. I'm just excited.
That's exciting. It's changed. I mean, the world has changed, and you think about art through, someone connecting with you online. I mean, that's pretty amazing what can happen now. I mean, the digital world, we complain about, we're all in front of a screen, but it's about balance, and then you've got these amazing, cool tools like that. So I think that's exciting. So I want to give everyone your website again. It's joycollier.com. And one thing I do want to just let people know, which I think is really awesome, is that you donate 10% of your art sales, prints and the originals, to different park organizations, right?
Right. Whatever foundation, like if it's the Sequoia Forest, like the Trail of 100 Giants or something, if I painted an image from there, the money goes to their foundation. If it's from the national park, Sequoia National Park, they have a foundation. So it's linked with where the image came from. I want the money to go to the people who teach people about the place. They create the maps. They do the guided tours. There's just a lot of things they do. They do bear boxes so people, the bears don't get into people's stuff when they're camping, and it protects the bears and it protects the people. So I mean, there's just a lot of things the foundations can do that the parks can't do. So it's good.
Yeah,
it's good.
They're the friends, they're the supporters, and like the Sequoia Conservancy, and there's just so many great organizations out there, and I love that you do that. And so I know that right now this is it, because you love the outdoors. You're actually calling from Lake Success, and that's a beautiful area. And wintertime is also really interesting in your region, how it starts to green up with rain sometimes, and depending on what's going on. But is it Golden Hills out there right now, or are you getting some of the greenery?
Pretty gold. We haven't had much rain this year, so the ground is a little bit of green, a hint of green, but not a lot. Just the hills are pretty dry. But
it's still pretty.
If you look at some of my Central Valley paintings, you'll see they have. I call it the Moods of Mine Hill. I live across from a hill. And, I mean, from moment to moment, it changes. The oaks look different against the hill. They can be blues in winter and greens in spring. And, I mean, just so many different colors. And you'd think it's actually kind of boring, these dry hills. But it isn't. It's very dynamic, and it changes all the time. So that's
nice.
The beauty of being out here. I mean,
I love
why
that
I live
area.
here.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful area. Like I was saying, you've got the historic downtowns, you've got the agriculture around you, you've got the giant trees, you've got the lakes, the rivers. I mean, it is absolutely beautiful out there, and it's not far from San Francisco or L.A., and get out of the traffic and go hang out in the Sequoia region. The one thing before you go is we've got a beautiful jigsaw puzzle. We love doing the puzzles, these online jigsaw puzzles of your art. We have one of a bear that is up on nationalparktraveling.com. So if you go to that website, just type in Joy Collier, and you'll see that puzzle. You can listen to her previous radio interview and piece the puzzle together, but now we have a new one going up on blendradioandtv.com. It's a new puzzle, and this one is the wet meadow in the giant forest. And so the giant forest is right near where you were talking about. It's pretty near the first area when you come in through Sequoia National Park. From the gateway through Three Rivers, the giant forest is pretty much the first main visitor bureau, right? Or center, I should say.
Right,
up
right.
there.
The visitors.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. This is a beautiful painting. And so is this more of a spring time when it's all the
right.
snow
It was
melting?
just after the snow melted last year, and we had this winter we haven't had much snow, but last winter we had a lot of snow, and I had the luxury of going up during the snow, but when I went back after the snow started to melt, the meadow was full of water. It was really
beautiful.
Beautiful. It was the first time I'd ever seen it like that. So
beautiful. Beautiful. Well, people are going to have fun putting the puzzle together. Everyone, again, the event, the South Valley Studio tour out in Tulare County, again, is April 14th through 15th, 2018. It happens every 2 years, so make plans to go because you don't have to try next year because it's not happening. So it's every 2 years.
Right.
This
That's
is a
true.
big region, and to gather all the artists and get everything. It's a big event. So the website for that is artconsortium.org. Artsconsortium.org. So it's arts with an S on it, artsconsortium.org. Also, if you keep up with Joy, go to her Facebook page. It's Joy Collier Art, and you can keep up with her there as well. We appreciate you giving us a heads up on the event, and it's always great to chat with you, Joy. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Lisa. I'm thrilled, and I hope everybody can come out and visit during the art studio tour. We'd love to meet you.
Yeah, go out there, have good food, have good art experiences, go shopping in historic downtowns, go take a hike, go see wildflowers. I mean, really, and all the bears are starting to come out, the birds are playing. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. April is such a gorgeous time. It's one of my favorite times, and that's when the citrus starts to bloom, and it's intoxicating. It smells so good.
Right.
So
that's true.
it is. It's magic. It's magic. So everyone, joycollier.com. Thanks, Joy. You take care. Enjoy the rest of your day playing out in nature.
I will. Thank you. It's a lovely day. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Very cool. I can't wait to get back up to the Sequoias.
No, I love it up there.
I know, and her art is just so colorful, and it's like wake up your room.
And she likes bears too.
I know. Well, she has to go on the trail with us. We can go plein air painting. We'll try and plein air paint. Let's put that. We'll sketch.
It's fun because bugs.
I know you got chased by a hippo, so.
Well, yeah, I know. It
happens.
I learned don't stare at animals while you're painting.
Well, I have a song for our next guest. I had a conversation with Perry Grip, who's a great musician and author, and gets kids excited about things. He's a YouTube sensation, and he talked about Somebody Loves Me. Somebody Loves Me. His new book with National Geographic Kids, and it's a cool book. It gets kids looking at their pets and loving their pets and taking care of them and understanding pets' habits. But because we're going to talk about pets, I have a song that I have to play, and it's called Cats. And I want to play it because, Nancy, I think you love this song, as I recall, from the Tall Man Group. It's off of their album.
It's a deal breaker.
Too Tall, yes. Don't ruin it. But, Too Tall, the Tall Men Group, 6 tall men, they have their writing challenges that they put together every month, and then they eat, dinner together and write these songs and put an album out once a year, and their next one's about to come out. So Tall Men Group, they're on CD Baby, Weebly.com. You can also listen to their last interview with us on their latest album called Feast if you go to blendradioandtv.com. But here's Cats. It just is funny, and it's funny now. It'll always be funny. And right after that, we'll air our segment with Perry.
Our first date couldn't have gone better. We had a delicious steak dinner, and she said, I've got some wine back in my place. I said, that sounds great. I was into her, but that was before the horror that lurked behind her door. 9 cats, and yes, I am allergic, but it's more than that. She's super sexy and she's a Democrat, but I'll sum it up in 2 words: 9 cats. mostly stay outside. And that one Pookie, he's about to die. And I thought 6, still too many. Wish she didn't have any, but she has 9. And yes, I am allergic, but it's more than that. She's super sexy and she's a Democrat. But I'll sum it up in 4 lines. 9, and not one will let you pet 'em. Not one has caught a mouse. And it doesn't mean she's crazy, but you cannot rule it out. Nine cats, and I'm a dog person, but it's more than that. She's super sexy and a lifelong Democrat. But I'll sum it up in one word. Deal breaker.
Well, National Geographic Kids has released an adorable new picture book. It's called Some Bunny Loves Me, and it's all about the magical world of furry friendships. The book is written by Perry Grip, and he is known on YouTube for his popular tunes like Nom 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 and It's Raining Tacos. And actually, he's got his YouTube channel's over like 140 million views. Wow. And we're excited to have Perry join us on Big Blend Radio today to talk about his debut children's book. And, of course, we're going to talk about furry friends and critters. Of course, the book is available on Amazon, and also you can go to nationalgeographic.com, go to their shop, or also go to kids.nationalgeographic.com and go to their page, Some Bunny, on there, because you'll also get to see a really fun video and listen to the music that Perry created just for the book. Welcome, Perry. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on.
Hey, excited about this. I should say barkity bark. That's how I normally introduce people.
That's funny. And that's an inside joke for people who've watched the video.
I know. The video is fun. And, you know, I want to say even without watching the video, I've got the book here, and it's beautiful, it's fun, and it's a nice hardcover book for kids. You just snap into you start reading the rhymes immediately, and it feels like you can automatically start singing the words to the book without hearing music, which is pretty amazing.
It's a rhyming song, and it's supposed to be catchy. That's a nice thing, or kind of interesting thing about the book is there's a music video that goes along with it, and you can actually read the book along with the video.
That's cool. That's totally fun, I think, because now, you know, I think it's nice to have both sides of it. We've got the digital world, but then also having the print hardcover book world, and when they merge like that, it's special. I wanted to ask, what led you to, you know, create your first children's book?
Well, I started doing these music videos for National Geographic, and my wife had this idea. Oh, you should talk to them about doing a book about pets, because a lot of my videos are about pets. And so so I mentioned it to them, and they gave me the okay, and I'm feel really honored that they did that, because National Geographic, that's a big deal. And they of course are famous for their great photography. So I didn't get the pictures at all. They came up with all these very cute animal pictures. I supplied the text and the song and the rhyming, and they made this beautiful, beautiful book, and it's really it's nice to have. Making videos is fun, but it's so nice to have a physical thing that people can hold and read.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. It makes, reading time fun, and kids, I think kids need, something durable like this too, and to be able to play along and listen to the music and do the rhymes too. I mean, this is, for ages 4 to 8, so it's perfect. The size of it, and it's definitely going to keep their attention, and I love that you have the music in the video with that, and the photos, like you're saying, it's so cute. I'm glad that you focus on taking care of the animals, and because a lot of times kids do hurt their pets and they don't mean to and they don't realize it, but there's parts where you talk about don't tap on the fish tank, don't tap on the glass, and kids think they're communicating, but I think the way you've done it has really made it that they almost come up with I want to protect my pet, is that they come up with the idea.
Oh, sure. Well, that's a nice way to put it. We intended to have it be sort of like if a pet could talk to you and tell you how it wanted to be treated. That's what we wanted to say in the book, and I think it is. Kids want to love their pets. They want to make their pets happy. They don't always know how. So hopefully this book will help with that.
Mm. Yeah, I think I that's the one thing I thought was like, they can sit and learn how to take care of their pets, and then you also do a nice personal note at the end of the book, and you also mention about whether they've already got a pet or they're going to adopt. So you're already putting that adopting a pet buzzword in their ears too, which is also another great idea too, I think.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we want. There's so many pets around that need adopting that it's great to get kids thinking about that.
Mm. So the one thing you talk about music videos, and now you're famous for your YouTube videos. I'm like, finally I get to meet a YouTube personality. So what's great is you actually teach kids how to make their own video, which is neat. That's a neat way of bonding. Do you want to share any tips on doing that?
Oh, yeah, and kids send me videos all the time, and really, I guess my tip would be just let the animal be itself and be patient and film. You film the animal doing its thing, and then anyone who has a pet, they're always doing funny stuff. They're always doing something surprising, and so if you just sit back and let the animal do its thing, you'll undoubtedly get something that makes a good video.
Mm. Just let them go, and so you don't need to start positioning them in crazy places. It's really also, to me, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Putting the music, don't put them into like, okay, I'm going to put the cat on the top of the fridge and see if the cat will jump from the fridge to the stove. You don't want to see that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You don't want that. They get up on the fridge on their own. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, they do, and and I love that they have the bunny because you've got your bunny Bruno. So that's how many animals do you have?
Well, we've had a lot of different animals over time, but right now we just have our rabbit Bruno, and you can see him in the book. There's a picture of me, which you can ignore. I'm not the cute part of the book, but they're sitting next to me, Bruno, and he's kind of whispering in my ear, giving me some advice, dictating what I should say in my notes.
See, that's it. Yeah, I love that all the pictures of kids with their animals, because you do see that bond happen between them. And there's this. I think sometimes kids really need that, to have that outlet, communicate with an animal that the animal's not going to tell them what to do. It's not going to tell them to clean their room. You know what I mean? And it's part of their development,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, and they have to be conscious of the animal and take, they want what's best for the animal. So I think it's a great thing for kids to have pets. It really teaches them some responsibility and just teaches them to care about another life.
Yeah, and also I think also takes away some of the fear, because some kids are scared of animals. If maybe they've had a negative experience.
Sure.
So I think not only are they learning how to, take care of an animal and not harm them, but they're also learning how to interact so that they don't get hurt.
Sure.
Yeah, that's neat. So, okay, so you've got your videos out there. People can start trying to do this, but again, be nice to the pet. But with the videos, don't you think it's also like letting the animal do what it wants to do, and you spend time filming, right? But isn't it always like what makes it funny is actually how the music goes to the animal moving around?
Yeah, and that's really true. And it's definitely what has been the thing that made my videos popular. And I mean, I was just goofing around when I started doing it 10 years ago. I can't believe it's been 10 years, but you know, I was writing these songs, and I'd watch the video and kind of think of what would be funny to go along with the pet, and it ended up being really popular. I have one called Baby Monkey Riding Backwards on a Pig. It's got like 30 million views or something, and people just love this song combined with this monkey riding a pig. For some reason, just the timing of it. It's kind of instinctual on my part. I'm sure if anyone out there wants to write a song to go along with an animal, you just have to look at it and see what pops into your head.
There you go. There you go. Just see what happens with that, you know. So, yeah, I mean, what led you into the world of doing YouTube videos?
I was just goofing around. I mean, it was just something to do for fun. I had been in a band and toured all over the world, and that was over. And then I just thought, oh, this will be fun. This will be like a thing I can just throw up on YouTube and make my buddies laugh at it. And it just took off like crazy. I mean, right from the beginning. And it really changed my life, because once the YouTube videos took off, I then got work for Disney and National Geographic and Hasbro and Hallmark and all these other companies that I was able to work for. So it shows you just if you do something for fun, it can sometimes work out.
You know, and I think that's a life lesson, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's like, it's do what you're passionate and what is fun, you know. And I think we're supposed to have fun, and if you can work in the world of fun, oh my gosh, it's the best thing ever. We've got to have fun. We've got to laugh. Do you see adults kind of loosen up with your videos? And because I think we need to. We need it. We need all this humor.
Yeah, I get a lot of emails about that, like, oh, this was a great distraction, or like I was feeling down and I watched this thing and it's so ridiculous that it got my mind off of stuff. And that's the great thing about animals. They're sort of non like they don't have all this baggage that a person has, you know what I mean, or like humanity has. They're just do their own thing. And so I think that's a great. I also sing a lot about food, which is also another thing that's a good distraction.
Yeah, there you go. That's a fun thing. Now, okay, so now I've got to ask, are you still in the punk band Nerf Herder? Because Nerf Herder is like the best band name ever.
We still play every once in a while. It was a job for a while, and now it's just a thing we do for like the four of us to get together and do something fun. We'll play a show every once in a while. It's not, it's hard making a living being in a band, and you don't want to ride around in a van your whole rest of your life. So really it's just a hobby for us. We all have other stuff we do.
Yeah, no, I know all about that. I know. Suddenly we had to make that decision.
Were you in a band?
Yeah, when we are based in San Diego, and then it was like, okay, well, we got to, you've got a magazine, and your band is opening and playing at different festivals, and they're your clients' festivals, and then the band members didn't behave, and then you go, okay, we have to make a decision here. So now we do a lot of radio interviews with musicians. It's pretty much a mainstay of what we do on Big Blend Radio. So take that experience, and I think at this point we could still write a whole book about being in a band. It was the craziest times of my life. It was awesome.
It's like an interesting study in humanity when you're kind of trapped with not trapped, but when you're working in a band kind of a thing. There's like everyone, some people become more responsible and some people become more flaky. It's just very interesting.
It's very hard to be normal after that. That sounds crazy, but you know what I mean. You can't. I can't go. To be like work in a regular office setting doesn't work for me. After that, there was no way. Nothing is going to be normal once you've gone into that zone. You're going to have an outlet, and for you apparently, writing kids songs and talking about bunnies. Somebody Loves Me. It's really positive. I love that part of it. Do you see yourself doing more of these kinds of projects where you have the book and the music and video going together like this?
Oh, I'd love to, and hopefully, it depends on how the book does with National Geographic Kids. It's possible maybe there'll be a volume 2. There's a lot of different pets. Everyone was asking like, hey, there's no ferret in here, there's no hedgehog, there's no snake. So volume 2 could happen. It kind of depends on how it does for National Geographic.
Yeah, you do have like an iguana in there, which is pretty cool. I like that.
Oh yeah,
I like the iguana. Yeah. That's a handsome one, and turtles and there is when you think about it, especially adopting, like there's so many things that happen, like just especially if you live out in a rural setting where suddenly next thing you know, if an injured animal becomes your pet, that kind of thing, and it's like how do you take care of them? But I don't know, just such a positive book. I was really happy to get my hands on it and share it with other kids too, because I'm about their age as well. It's cool. So I think it's a neat
well,
thing.
I'm so glad you like it.
I do. Well, congratulations again on your first book and continued success with that. Everyone, you've got to check it out. Especially go to the page if you go to kids.nationalgeographic.com/explore/book/some-bunny. Just Google it. Just type in Kids National Geographic Some Bunny. You'll get to this page, and we'll put it up on blendradioandtv.com as well. But not only you can listen to the song, and then you have that whole interactive experience, but there's all these quizzes and pet trivia on that page too. So they've packaged this whole neat thing for kids to, they could be busy for a while with it. It's good for spring break.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, yes, it'll keep them busy.
Yeah, everybody. So it's a great gift idea, and especially if you're going on a road trip, as we always recommend people do and their families. This is a good book for the kids in the back seat, and they can sing it, and then the entire family can sing it for their entire cross-country road trip. How about that, Perry? I think that's how it should happen.
That sounds like fun. I want to do that.
Yeah, what instruments should the parents get too, so they could go along with that? A trumpet or something? Maybe some drums for the parents. That'd be great.
Bring a ukulele. Ukulele is a great thing to carry. I always have one in my car, so you can always play one of those. I may have to start up the band again. We'll get in our van, and I'll make those guys sing this song and read the book.
And then you have to do really cool like decals for the car. Like the van has to have like pictures of bunnies and rabbits and. Bunnies and rabbits and dogs and lizards and
We'd bring all those pets with us, of course.
Oh, that's it. It'd just be the animal house going across country. I like it. And the only thing you get to eat is animal crackers. That's your road trip food. That's it. That's the only thing you're allowed to eat. I love it. Everyone, again, the book is called Some Bunny Loves Me. It's from National Geographic Kids. And, again, you can go to the National Geographic store on their website or go to Amazon. All the great bookstores will have it. Thank you so much for joining us, Perry. It's been a real pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, Lisa. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, and barkity bark.
Barkity bark. Take care.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye, thank you.
Barkity bark, Nancy.
Meow.
I know. 9 cats.
Love cats.
I know. It's like meow, barkity bark. There it is, everybody. That's our garden gossip show today. I mean, we went from weird homes to giant sequoia trees and paintings for your home to bunnies and barkity barks.
And cats.
And raining tacos. Just saying.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So, everyone, thanks for joining us. I want to thank our guests and also, of course, you, the listeners, for joining us. We will be back tomorrow because, guess what? Big Blend Radio is changing up a little bit in our air times. You will hear segments, shorter segments, every day. Really, we're going daily. It's crazy, but we are. We will be airing live every day. You'll hear Monday through Thursday at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and Friday, Saturday, Sunday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow you will hear our Excellence in Tourism segment with Bobby DePorter, and we call her the Queen of Excellence, but we're really talking about the benefits of tourism, how they far outweigh any of the negative aspects, and how the negative aspects can be fixed or even avoided altogether if a smart strategy or plan is formulated, put in place, and then attended to with care. And so this is part of our feature that we have running in our Parks and Travel magazine. It's really about communities and tourism working together to build a strong and sustainable economy.
That's
so it's
for sure.
It's important for everyone to listen to, actually. And I think like our Weird Homes Tour people are part of that with what we were talking about. Everyone we were talking about today is like, you know, community has to have their input if you want visitors to your town, and there's a balance. And at the same time, towns can benefit from visitors coming to it.
Well, absolutely
so,
they do.
Anyway, take a listen to it. This is going to be March 1st, everyone, Thursday, March 1st at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. You can listen to it when it airs live, or you can listen to it any time. So just go to blendradioandtv.com to learn more, or we're right here on Blog Talk Radio. Just go type in Big Blend Radio, and you'll find us there. Or just go to bigblendradio.com. That's the best place. We're also on Twitter at Big Blend Mag and Facebook under Big Blend Radio and TV Magazine. So that is tomorrow, Excellence in Tourism. It is the start of a whole series about it. So
cool.
Good conversation. Important for communities. This kind of thing, what we're talking about, will take drugs off the street and help a lot of different things that are happening in communities, a negative, and turn it into a positive. So anyway, thank you for joining us again. We will see you on Thursday, and have a happy rest of Wednesday, the last day of February. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, go hare, rabbit, because it's the new month. That's what you're supposed to say.
And then what happens?
You turn into a bunny.
I already am a bunny.
But somebody loves you. So there you go. All right. You know what? I want to play a song from Tucson. It's called Adobe Cafe from Wally Lauder. Everyone, WallyLauder.com. It's just a song where you think about your community and, you have your little house. You saunter down the street into a little cafe that's an adobe and have a little cup of coffee, and you check out the person next to you.
Hello.
Yeah, you never know.
Hello.
Hello. Here's a little bit of an Adobe Cafe for you. Take care. Thanks.
In an adobe cafe on the dusty side of town is a dark-haired girl with eyes of brown. He watches the way she moves around, soft as a butterfly, barely touching the ground. Just a cup of coffee, just a stop along the road. He's falling in love with someone he doesn't even know. He wonders about her as her soft hips sway, as she runs her hand through her long dark hair in a casual way. He's got miles to go, but she lingers in his thoughts, driving down that road. Maybe someday, when he's back in town, she'll be there with her long dark hair and eyes of brown. Just a cup of coffee, just to stop along